So it looks like spring of anime is officially here because Shaman King Episode 1 has decided to grace us with its presence. And this is my first time ever watching this series. I have never watched Shaman King, the original anime. I have never read the manga, so I don't really know what to expect. Like, I am a completely blind and newcomer to this series. I have no idea what to expect. The only thing I know about Shaman King is that it's about, obviously, by the title, shamans. So I'm pretty excited because this is kind of like a cult classic. This is a series I've heard a lot over the years, ever since it was, you know, a manga. Many have said to watch this series, and even before I became a YouTuber and started making content and all that, you know, I heard about Shaman King. It was always a series that I almost started many times. I just never did. There's no reason for it. I just never started. At the time, I was always, like, into Naruto, Dragon Ball. I was into, you know, other stuff like romance series, and then finding One Piece, etc. You know, I never really got into Shaman King because I never gave it a shot. And now that obviously it's gotten a reboot / remake now, I think it's time, a better time than any, to sit down and actually watch the show. So the first episode's out, and so if you have not seen it yet, I recommend you to, you know, stop the video and go watch it yourself because, you know, it was a good first episode. Now, I don't know how good the adaptation was. I'm just gonna say it right now, because once again, I'm a newcomer. I don't know what to expect, so I don't know if this is automatically way better than the original anime or not. I don't know that. But I know, at least from what I saw from the first episode, I like it. I like the vibe, the theme, what it's about, the concept of shamans, everything about it really piques my interest, and I want to know more. So, one of the things that really drew me to this series, besides obviously being a reboot and me wanting to really watch this cult classic, was the fact that it's about shamans. Because shamanism is actually very fascinating. It's very tribal. It's something where people are able to connect with the very elements and spirits itself and become intertwined with it. And we even get to see this aspect presented within the first episode. In terms of first episodes of Shonen, I think this did a really good job of giving you kind of a presentation of our main character, somewhat of his goal of obviously wanting to be a Shaman King, but how kind of the power system works, at least with shamans. And this is something you could easily find yourself, because technically, the power system, at least from what we got from this first episode, is something that you can actually find online. You can find, like, in real life of what shamans technically were depicted as in folklore and stories, because shamans were always individuals, like I said, that were like, they communed with the elements, the spirits of the dead, everything, and they were able to be like a medium for these spirits and have their body possessed to be able to speak with others. For instance, the dead can speak to their loved ones even after death. This is something that was known throughout many stories and folklore and myths and all that throughout our history in real life. So I do like just the intertwined nature of this. I love the myth and stories that's being kind of applied to Shaman King. That is something that automatically piques my interest, and I like the way this first episode was very tasteful about it. It's very unique. It's a very, very unique shonen series, and I'm excited to see exactly how the power system is kind of more clarified as the story progresses. Just obviously, in terms of first episodes, this got the job across. Like, it told you a little bit about the world, what to expect, you know, the capabilities of our MC, etc., etc. I think that in terms of first episodes, this couldn't have been any better. Now, getting into kind of my overall thoughts, like, of everything, I think that the main character so far, design-wise and everything, I like him. I have to say, though, the headphones, I don't know, I didn't think I would ever like that when I used to, like, glimpse at images of the series. I never really paid too much attention to the design of the headphones. But actually watching this first episode and seeing the headphones on his head and all that, I was like, I like that. It's a really unique little trait to add to the character to kind of make him unique, showcasing that he is the MC. But what was funny to me, though, is, and I don't know if this is a joke that people have talked about in the past, I like how the man's headphones are able to stay on his head thanks to his hair. Like, legitimately, he's not having these headphones on his ears. He has them off his ears, and his hair is literally what is holding these headphones in place. That is absolutely funny to me. I don't think I'm going to be the only one that's going to laugh to that, but I just wanted to mention it, that I think that's pretty funny that his literal headphones are staying on his head thanks to just how much hair he actually has. We get a brief glimpse at what a shaman actually is capable of, and for instance, of how our MC is able to have two individuals that have died at different points communicate with each other and kind of pass on to the afterlife. That's what we got within this episode. We had like this ancient samurai that was waiting for 600 years for someone, and obviously they never arrived. 600 years passed, that means the individual died, and even though the samurai knew this, regardless, he still had that regret, and he wanted to stay there and uphold his promise to wait for his friend to return one day, give him a good sword, and then, you know, he would be able to move on. And you have the friend that he was waiting for died in another place, which we didn't get a whole lot of clarification to everything on that end, but at the very least, we do know that he died and he wasn't actually able to give the very sword that he made for his friend to him before they both died, which resulted in him also having regret, and he just wandered there in that one location, not being able to really move from that location, upset that he let his friend die. He was responsible for it, and he really didn't know what to do with himself. It's an incredibly powerful moment just to show just what the MC's capable of and how he's able to make spirits really at peace, give them what they've always wanted, allow them to be able to pass on and be happy. It's beautiful, and I think this is a better time than any to really have a story themed like this, because, I mean, let's be honest, when it comes to spirits and demons, etc., you know, it's a good time. You have Jujutsu Kaisen, incredibly popular, Chainsaw Man, you had Demon Slayer that I think, started all of this, once again, really building up the popularity for this type of style of shonen. So, I mean, Shaman King getting its remake and coming back right now, it's the best time for it. It's the best time for people to really be engaged in wanting something like this. And on top of that, for Shaman King to come back this season, I felt like it was definitely a calculated move. Because, you know, think about this for a second. Jujutsu Kaisen literally just ended last week, on Friday, and obviously people are looking for something to really scratch that itch, something that kind of replaces Jujutsu Kaisen in anime form. And even though Shaman King isn't a one-by-one similarity, there is a lot of differences, it does have some similar themes, at least with spirits, etc., and I feel like people are going to probably gravitate towards Shaman King thanks to Jujutsu Kaisen actually being over. The only thing that's actually holding Shaman King back, which I need to mention, is Netflix. Which, if you have been around for a while and you've been watching anime, you know the curse of Netflix picking up an anime, even if the anime is necessarily good. Example, Beastars. Netflix can hinder the popularity / growth of said series. Netflix is known for this, and I feel like not many people realize just how much Netflix does hurt the popularity in the West for these different series. Because, like, once again, imagine if Netflix had Demon Slayer, okay? They have it on their platform, at least for the States, but imagine if they withheld you from being able to watch Demon Slayer coming out at the time it did. I don't think that series would have blown up as much as it did. Or Jujutsu Kaisen as well, another example. What I'm saying is Netflix, I feel like, hinders the popularity of a story because not everybody's able to access and watch it when it's actually coming out. The only way to actually watch the series right now through Netflix is using a VPN and going to Japanese Netflix. That's literally the only legitimate legal way to watch, you know, the series right now, Shaman King. And it's just like, that's the curse of Netflix. It really is the curse of Netflix picking up a series, and I feel like that's going to be a huge thing that's going to hinder Shaman King from really reaching the ranks of popularity once again, and like what it probably once had in the past, and hinder those that love Jujutsu Kaisen navigating over to the story. It's just like that, it sucks. It really sucks, because I like the first episode, and I hate how it's so hard to be able to access and watch this series because of what Netflix practices are, how they handle stuff like this. So I feel like that's going to be a big deterring factor, like a big factor for people to not start the story because of Netflix. It upsets me. It really upsets me, because there's been so many anime over the years that's been kind of ruined in popularity and potentially will never get a season 2 thanks to them picking it up. All I'm going to say. But enough with the little Netflix rant. All I'm going to say for now, though, is that Shaman King, at the very least, at this point in time, is good. And apparently there has been 52 episodes that have been announced, so it's going to be around for a while. Now, I don't know if this 52 episodes is going to be like an ongoing no breaks, or if it's going to have cores in between. But for now, though, we do know it's going to be like 50 episodes plus. So this is good news for those that probably want the entirety of all the content of Shaman King to be adapted. So I'm excited to see it for myself. But once again, if you're wanting to watch this, you got to go certain means to be able to watch it, which sucks. That's just all I'm going to say. But I love you guys. I like what I saw. Can't wait to watch episode 2. And I'll see you then next week when it does air. But I love you guys. Be safe. Stay healthy. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And with that, Chibi out.